U.S. export controls have a long history, dating to the American Revolution when the Continental Congress blocked trade with England. Since then, trade controls have been used to advance political, military, and economic objectives. Following the devastation of the 20th century world wars, restrictions were imposed on weapons to deter profiteering and the proliferation of nuclear arms, chemical, biohazardous materials, and dual-use technologies with civil and military applications. As technologies have evolved, export controls have become an increasingly important toolset to prevent adversaries from accessing items that could be weaponized against the U.S. In recent years, the U.S. has entered into multilateral arrangements with like-minded nations to improve the effectiveness of strategic trade controls and reduce the abilities and incentives for bad actors to evade rules. A spokesperson for Sherrod Brown, chairman of the Senate Committee on Banking, Housing and Urban Development, observed, "When used right, export controls are critical tools to protect our technologies from bad actors and strengthen our national security." The office for the committee's ranking member Pat Toomey agreed. Export controls are powerful tools, and the decision to impose unilateral controls must be taken extremely carefully. The Senate Committee on Banking, Housing and Urban Affairs has had jurisdiction over the modern U.S. export control system since its formation after World War II. While most people likely associate this committee with monetary policy, its authority extends to the export control regime. Key to its jurisdiction is oversight of Bureau of Industry and Security (BIS) and the International Trade Administration, both housed at the Department of Commerce. The Senate Banking Committee confirms the President's nominees to these two agencies, while the Senate Commerce Committee confirms the cabinet-level position of Secretary of Commerce. Once a relatively obscure agency, the BIS has grown in prominence. It captured headlines in recent years for designating some 350 Chinese companies to the entity list for activities that run counter to U.S. national security and foreign policy interests, including telecom equipment giant Huawei. A U.S. company must obtain a license from the BIS to do business with a counterpart on the entity list. Export controls are an area of strong bipartisan agreement. Major export control reform was enacted as a part of the 2019 National Defense Authorization Act, which was decisively passed in the House 359-54 and Senate 87-10 and signed by the President. Chairman Brown and Ranking Member Toomey authored an amendment to the U.S. Innovation and Competition Act that provides for a review of controls on items that could be used China to abuse human rights, which passed the Senate this year with more than a two-thirds majority. In the Senate banking hearing on export controls in 2019, Senator Brown stated, "We want to protect U.S.